What do we have now? 192 nations in the world today. More could do more, right? And we also have countries in this region that are performing very well in many different sectors. Economically, socially, defense-wise, right? We are seeing countries in the region that are becoming stronger and stronger.
Because not all countries that ratify the International Convention on the Refugees, but we talk more about that later. But what I am asking you more about the blueprints. Is there any blueprints created by the United Nations regarding to how on the countries should provide, should shelter all the asylum seekers and refugees? Is there any better blueprint on how the government should react?
We have seen a very good approach in Indonesia, where we see the Indonesian authorities allow the Rohingya refugees to disembark. And that is a very, very welcoming position to take.
So there's a good example that our government does.
Absolutely. Indonesia is a prime example, is the best example in the region on allowing Rohingya refugees to disembark. It's not like other countries in the region who push them back and send them on. So that is a very welcoming gesture that we appreciate greatly. And what we have done in the past is that we have worked both with national and local authorities and local communities to identify locations where the refugees could be temporarily hosted, and that has worked. So we actually have a blueprint in Indonesia itself. The challenge that we have is what I explained before, is that we don't have enough suitable sites right now, but it is possible to manage. And I truly hope that in the coming days and weeks, because of course this is something that we continue to discuss with the authorities and the communities, that we will find a solution.
Okay. When was the last time the UNHCR do the contacts with the local authorities?
But we do it daily. We do it daily. We meet them at the local level up in Aceh and North Sumatra. We meet daily, several times a day. And here, I am regularly at meetings also with national authorities. So and we discuss on the phone. We meet. It's ongoing.
How does the dialogue, have on the change for them? Because there's still a rejection and circulating on the social media about how we have to treated them. How do you see the education or literation along with the local community, local people of Aceh receiving the refugees and asylum seekers there? Right now.
So you're right. There has been a very unfortunate, and which is it's a completely new development in Indonesia, and that is the campaign of mis- and disinformation and hate speech against UNHCR and against Rohingya refugees. And that is something that started towards end November. It has gone down now, but it's still popping up. And what we have seen, you would probably have noticed there are many Indonesian media that have also investigated what is and who is behind this and how it's being organized.
So you see, it's an organized campaign.
No, it is an organized campaign.
From where?
But that's very difficult to say. I don't know. Before mid-November, I hardly knew what a bot was. I hardly knew what trolling meant. Trolling. It's a new world. I'm not familiar with that. I'm on social media, but I'm not an expert in this, far from it. But I have had to learn, and so has our team. And we are working, and we are grateful for the Indonesian media that now, they have investigated, and they have looked into who and what is behind this. And I think that what it has shown is that, first of all, and of course, many know this, the social media is a world apart. We are in the real world, right? We sit here, we are material, we are tangible. The social media
is another.
It's another planet.
Dimension.
Completely, it's another dimension, and it is very. It's not possible to control. You know, so I cannot tell you, and I don't think anyone can tell you how big was and is this mis and disinformation campaign and hate speech against the Rohingya refugees. How large was it? It's because we don't have eyes, enough eyes and enough, you know,
we can't
antennas.
go there. We can't go there daily to check on them
we
or
can,
check
but
on
we
the
will
facts.
not do anything else. And you know, there are many messages that are sent on multiple platforms that we don't even know, right? We catch some and others catch others. But what we have seen is that, and that's why we can say, and why also several medias have concluded that you have had coordinated messages of hate published, posted on several social platforms, right? So TikTok, Twitter, Instagram.
So many on TikToks.
Yeah, many on TikTok. So this has been done simultaneously, and also what is evident is that the content that has been developed and produced, it's professionally made. These are not even
the key opinion leaders or influencers, so-called influencers of the social media,
the buzzers and all that. Yeah, no, but the content, the fake videos that you see that are claiming outrageous things. They are professionally made. It's not made by a local villagers or a local fisherman in Aceh.
Made here.
I don't know where they're made. They can be made in many places. That's, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't have the expertise to go in and check
the IP address.
IP address and whatever it's called. I don't know. And I don't think I don't know if there's anyone that can check that or have the resources and the interest. Of course, we have the interest to find out, but we also need to remember who we are. We are a humanitarian organization, right? We are just an international humanitarian organization. We are UN agency. We are the UN Refugee Agency. We were created in 1950. We are present in over 130 countries in the world. We were put into this world by UN member states to work closely with governments to provide international protection and find durable solutions for refugees. This is why we are here. And that's it. We don't have any other expertise. So, when we also hear these sort of statements like, okay, UNHCR, you should transfer the refugees. That's sometimes what we hear that, both on social media and also in the real world. Why don't you just transfer the refugees?
Can it?
No, we cannot. We cannot. How can UNHCR decide where refugees should be hosted, right? Those are foreigners. They have a international recognized legal status because they are refugees, but we are not part of the Indonesian government, obviously. We are an international humanitarian organizations that are working here with and on behalf of the government, but we cannot decide where refugees should be, right? But once we are told, okay, you can take the refugees there, we will do so, and we will work hard to make it a good situation. And this is what that we do in Aceh and North Sumatra. We have teams going there every day and so forth.
So basically, if Indonesian people or the Indonesian people or local people from Aceh and the Liserdang for right now wants the Rohingya people to go back to their country safely and with dignity, as you said before, the Indonesian government should do more on diplomatically dialogue with the Myanmar's government about the ethnicities of Rohingyas status there. That is the only options or only alternative solutions.
That is the best solution, but that will take a long time. And that cannot be Indonesia alone that will do that. You will need to have many countries involved.
Is there what is called. Is there any international dialogues that happens or be done with the United Nations help with the Myanmar?
I mean, there are many initiatives that are being taken, and also when Indonesia had the chair for ASEAN, you know, they did a lot of initiatives and they engage in dialogues with all parties in Myanmar, which is something that, again, where Indonesia sets a good example that more should follow, because if you want to support and promote peace, you need to involve all parties, all actors, right? But it takes time. So the question is, meanwhile, when the Rohingya can't go back in safety and dignity, what should we do? Ignore them?
As a human being?
Should we ignore them? Should we let them sink on the sea? Should we not help them? That's the question, and that is for all countries in the region, for all human beings that are seeing this. What would you do? Wouldn't you want to do the right thing? Wouldn't you want to save human lives? That's the question.
What do you see on Indonesian's government? What hope or expectations regarding to the? Yeah.
I think that a lot of progress has been made, and I think that we are continuing to to be in dialogue and to discuss what to do next, to find suitable sites, to engage and stabilize the situation in the unsuitable sites. Because of course you have refugees that are staying in unsuitable sites for weeks. So we can't just ignore them, right, and the communities that live there. So we continue to engage with all parties, and we hope that in the coming weeks there will be some suitable sites identified where we can transfer.
Like an island, inhabitable island?
Indonesia consists of islands, if you want. Right? So bigger and smaller islands.
It's an ideal, but yeah, probably an utopia alternatives or solutions that we can make.
There's no need to begin to think about small islands, and I think that we already have 2 suitable sites in Aceh. There are other sites that have been identified where we have suitable shelters. I think that we should go ahead and take them, and I think that the government are also discussing this.
Maybe we should talk more about the asylum refugees and the asylum seekers and the refugees, because this is not happening only on the Rohingya ethnicities, but also from people or ethnicities that being damaged, or a collateral damage from the wars happens in Ukraine, so Russians, Ukraine versus Russians, and Israel versus Hamas. But in the next segment, ma'am.
Okay.
Pemirsa, kita akan kembali membahas terkait dengan bagaimana mungkin dari UNHCR memandang sikap dari Indonesia, dan lagi-lagi sesuai dengan tadi pernyataan dari Madam Representative from the UNHCR terkait dengan bagaimana seharusnya warga Indonesia ini bisa bersikap selayaknya manusia sesuai dengan kaidah atau yang aturan yang ditetapkan oleh Undang-Undang Dasar 1945, bahwa kita bangsa Indonesia sangat ingin menghapuskan segala bentuk penjajahan di muka bumi. Mungkin itu yang menjadi salah satu pertimbangan bagi kita untuk bisa bersikap dalam menatap kasus-kasus yang berkaitan dengan pengungsi dan juga pencari suaka ini. Segmen berikut akan segera kembali setelah jeda pemirsa, tetaplah bersama kami dalam One on One